Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I'm Lori Appleby, and this video is to share with you the soul adventure game, Journey to the Real Me, which you may or may not be familiar with. Maybe you have the game, maybe you're just learning about the game, but this is a self-care, self-love, oracle card deck game system, we'll say. It's many, many things. Some people call it coach in a box. Some people, like we've called it solitaire for the soul. It's a really a practice for us to get connected inward and to bring some light, curious, playful, imaginative, expansive energy into our being, which really helps balance out our life out there, which can often be serious and stressful and have lots of problems and all of these things. So this is really to get us to connect to our heart, bring that head energy and all that's going on up there, the left brain stuff, and just really get connected to our heart and our right brain and our creativeness and our soul's wisdom. We want to just hear our soul's wisdom, right? Which is our intuition, that higher self voice, whatever you want to call it. You might hear my dog barking. He's outside today because he got sprayed by a skunk, so don't mind that. So I created this game so that my clients could and myself could, like I said, have something that we could do every day to build that consistency of tuning in and getting connected to ourselves and getting connected to our energies and to what we want to bring in and to the truth of who we really are. We all know that our brains really are kind of hardwired for negativity. So we are here reprogramming in a sense. And sometimes it can get heavy and serious healing, especially when you're healing those deeper, more painful ancestral things that your heart has really been burdened by. So when that happens, life can get kind of heavy, and that's what I noticed. So I wanted to bring a joyful, playful practice into our life. So the Soul Adventure game was born. And I'm not going to get too much into it because there's other places you can learn more about it. I really want to share the this playbook. So it's a game that's 3 decks of cards. Okay, I'll tell you quickly. This compass being cards. These are I am statements. They all have an I am affirmation. We have the chakra locator cards. These are all based on our chakra system and the different parts of us. So we call the different parts the me parts. So that one's the solar plexus, courageous me. And then we have our adventure energy cards. And these cards, this is an example of one, releasing, which is a healing energy. And you're going to learn more about that as we go through. And we have some orange ones, which is creating energy. And then we have pink ones, which is mindfulness energy. And you'll see a little bit more about that as I go through this. So we play the game, ideally daily, pulling a card from each deck, and then creating this powerful mantra and tuning into our soul's wisdom, our intuition. Somehow we're going to receive the end of our mantra. And that is something that we just carry with for that day, or could be a few days. And it's just to remind us of who we truly are, the truth of it, and what to focus on, right? What's coming up. So sometimes it's confirmation, and sometimes it's like a nudge from our soul saying, hey, you need to focus on this area. It's to get us to practice tuning into what is the message and discerning it for ourselves. So this playbook is really like an accompaniment thing for us that I found that people, when I first put the game out, it was 2018. And some people didn't really know a lot about intuition, or they didn't know anything about their chakras. So I wanted to create something that was to help them to understand, to have an introduction, and to reference. So I just recently updated it, and this is the cover. This can be used digitally or it can be printed out. So either way, whatever works for you. So the first page is our table of contents. I'm not going to go into that. That's pretty basic. It's not clickable. You do have to think to, but you can find out which page. And it's only 17 pages. It's not that long. So the introduction is, I'm not going to go through everything, but really it's just explaining that what is soul adventure. So I came up with that because when I first learned, I'm a radical forgiveness coach, radical living master coach. And when I learned the soul's journey, that our souls were here to have these feeling experiences and to experience the opposite of the truth, which is oneness and love, and to experience separation and fear and all the things that accompany it, it made sense for me. It finally was like, oh, okay, now I understand the purpose, because I never could understand why there was so much pain and suffering and what was the end game. So that was a big epiphany for me. And as years rolled on, I started to look at it as the adventures of my soul. So rather than looking at something that happened that was painful and challenging or whatever it was, I chose to look at it from an opportunistic enjoyment. This is my soul taking me on this adventure to have this experience. And yes, it's going to be messy and painful, and sometimes you might even want to give up, but on the other side of that is, all the bliss and the abundance and the happiness and the joy and the curiosity of like the childlike innocence that we're returning back to. So this page really just goes through that, and just to give people an overview. So I'm not going to go into it all, but please, please, please feel free to read this, and see how it feels for you, and let me know. I'd love to get your thoughts on what you think soul adventures are, and how you've seen and have the dots connecting for you around your own soul adventures. So the next page is really just different tips to help people to get started, to listen to their intuition, their soul's wisdom. There's also, I'm not going to go into them all because you can read this all, but it's just to really, it's very simple, yet we make it so difficult sometimes, right? So down here, it does say there's a training I have that you may or may not have watched. And it's called, it used to be for an introduction for people who were, I was trying to get into this, like learning more about the soul adventure game, but now I've just changed that and made it a resource. So it is on the membership portal, and I'm going to show you where that is, and so that you can access it, because it's about 40 minutes, and gives you some fun tips and tricks and games and little fun things to help us to listen to our intuition, because when we're serious and thinking we're doing it wrong, it's not going to happen. It happens when you're in your childlike, light, playful, no judgment, open, curious kind of energy. And for me, I didn't really have that when I was young, so this is really, I think, why this game came through, because I knew I needed more of this. And I know there's a lot of people out there that do as well, because sometimes some of us grew up really quickly and we are returning to that innocence of possibly healing, but also tapping into that higher vibrational energy, not better, but it does feel better to me, but that childlike magical energy that when we can get connected, we start to receive the wisdom, we start to receive what is in alignment for us, so that life just starts to flow, and we start to have more and more of those beautiful days where everything just kind of lines up and you didn't even have to try, right? So that's what this page is all about. And yeah, so that's about it. I'm not going to go into all the writing. So the next page is the introduction about the compass being cards. So for instance, this I am belief. This is the card that I just pulled today. And the affirmation is, I trust all is unfolding as it is meant to be and have faith. I am belief. So when we state an I am, it's very powerful, and we know the universe, God, whatever you call it, is listening, because we're affirming it is I am that I am. And so the compass being cards is really about that, is how do we want to show up, right? And so I created a little game that we don't have to play the whole game, but say you have to run it, you're really busy, you got a big busy day, but you want to just have something as an intention to ground yourself with. So you pull a compass being card. So who am I being today? So if you can also do it if you're feeling kind of funky or low, you want to shift your energy. You just decide who you're being by pulling a card, taking a few deep breaths, focusing your energy on your heart space so that you can really connect, do that heart coherence by breathing and tuning into your heart. And then really just sending that love out and then reading your affirmation of your card. And then you just feel it and you just focus your attention and your presence on what does it feel to be belief? What does it feel like to trust all is unfolding as it is meant to be and to have faith? And you just, in your mind's eye, you envision that. And then you start sending your energy out, just really, in your Taurus field, that's our energetic field, our aura, and you just start growing that energy. And this is all done through intention. And then you just breathe it in and you smile and you carry on with your day. So you can do this really quickly. So that's just like a little starter game for us. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments. Happy to answer them. Our next page is the chakra locator cards. So this is really just explaining what chakras are from a basic standpoint for those who aren't familiar, but it's always a great overview anyhow. And what it invites you to do is when you are playing the game and you pull a chakra card, you can go to the page of your chakra and look at that chakra card and see what's going on. I'm going to take you and show you, so I'm not going to stay on that page. So the next page really just gives you an overview of the chakras and what they govern as a basic level. So I'm going to use the card that I pulled today, Courageous Me, yellow, and I'm wearing yellow. And yeah, so you can see, for example, solar plexus is about self-confidence, courage, passion, sense of purpose, willpower. And I will just say that I do find that, and if you know anything about chakras, you'll understand this too, that each chakra blends into the next one. So the chakra 1 blends into chakra 2, which blends into chakra 3, and so on and so forth. And really, I feel, and that's just the school of thought out there, is that the chakras were separate, but now they're starting to all connect. So if you find that one of the chakras is kind of like another chakra that's just above or below it, I would say that's why. So here's an example of the very first chakra, our chakra 1, our root chakra. It tells us where it's located. It gives you an overview of what it's about, or why this chakra is important and what it's governing. And then here, this one, it says, if you have a balanced root chakra, this is probably what it's going to be like. You be grounded, have lots of energy, feel secure, supported, aligned with your purpose, etc. Now, if your chakra is out of balance, so it doesn't mean always we want it to be open or closed. We do want it to be open, but sometimes they can be overly open or overly closed. So not balanced or blocked, right? Because overly open would maybe be not balanced, and blocked would be closed. So it gives you some understanding so people can just resonate. And the reason why I did this is so that people become more attuned to their energies. How often, like, I don't know about any of you, but before I was really doing any of this work, I did not really have a good connection with my body. And I know a lot of us are like that. We're disassociated from our body because the pain that lives there. So we're kind of living from the head up. And now here we are, just reacquainting, getting more connected to our body. And it's important to get connected to each chakra and just to because see how different things happen in our body and how it's related. So, these are some of the things that you can experience if you have a not balanced or blocked root chakra. And then what we do is I give them some simple exercises, things that you can do to help support to balance that chakra. Most of them are something you can, that doesn't cost money, and it's something we can do on our own. So for instance, it's get grounded, be in nature, walk barefoot, stomp your feet, march in place. You could take yoga, breathing, meditating, sending our energetic roots from our feet or our torso down into the earth, take a bath, drink water, do squats, like all those things help us to connect. There are definitely more other ones, but if you're going to meditate, you meditate on and breathe into that area. And you can even do the Kegels. That's a really good one. I didn't put in here, but it's on the recording now. So that's good. So then it goes into what the color is. And, you can wear shades if you find that this is a chakra that really you need to work on. You might want to start eating more colors or wearing those colors or decorating your home or grabbing, buying a pillow that in that color or something. All helps because the color therapy is also how we heal, right? Is color visually through all our senses, right? Our sound, our visual, our taste, our the clothes we wear, just things that colors that we're gravitated to also help us to heal. So each chakra page has a root chakra, so an adventure. So basically it's like an overall adventure for this chakra that I guess I came up with, I downloaded. So for the root, it's being grounded in your body and environment, creates the solid foundation for opening the entire chakra system. So if we're not grounded in our body, then we're like kind of out of body and we're all over the place. And then each chakra has an affirmation. All of these affirmations are from Deepak Chopra's 21-day meditation. That's why there's this little star here. So this one, I am safe, protected, and secure. All is as it should be. So if you find that you're, wanting to focus on the root chakra, for instance, you might want to say that affirmation. You might want to meditate on that color, wear something that day. These are all ways that we can energetically connect to our body and balance out our energies, right? So if you have any questions, please let me know in the chat. I'm not going to go into each chakra. I'm going to do that on another video. But this is sacral. And I'm going to say the sacral chakra adventure. We are destined to creatively express ourselves and experience all emotions fully. And then the solar plexus, today, because I pulled it and I ended up not planning, but I ended up wearing yellow. And I was outside, my dog got sprayed by a skunk, and I was outside in the sun, just doing the power pose. So here it says, practice being in your power pose and standing in the sun. This is what I did today before our call. And so the solar plexus chakra adventure is when our life force energy radiates out, which is vital to our willpower and growth. We are led to transformation. And then our heart chakra, when we can fully love and accept ourselves, we can truly love others and be open to receive their love. Throat, when we speak our inner truths, we can live life with clarity. Our third eye, when we listen and act on our intuitive messages, we can easily balance emotion and reason and make the best choice for us. And our crown, our life is an extension of our own consciousness, which we create it from. So that's the chakra locator cards. highly recommend, if, playing the game. If you have it, just go to that page and familiarize yourself with some things. After you do it enough, you'll just start to remember. And, we can always add onto our practice of playing the soul adventure game by, doing something from that list, or something else that we know supports that chakra to help us to really either, you might be balancing it, but you also might be just expanding it, and growing it. Because I'm finding that sometimes it's something that I need. Either way, I need to focus on it, but it might be because it needs expanding, or it might need me because I just need to use it and focus on being in that chakra energy. So the adventure energy cards, the last deck. I'm not going to go all into this. It's an overview of the cards. But when I started thinking and learning, and even when I'm teaching someone, when I bring it in terms of energy, I don't know, for some reason, we always get it. And it helps these right brain stuff be more understandable to the left brain. So the energy cards are, like I said, broken up in 3 different areas. Healing energy is the first one. So the healing energy is really, to me, about opening our heart. Because of the trauma, the painful experiences that we've had in the past, oftentimes our energetic heart can be, have some protection, and be closed or be somewhat jaded. And when that's the way it is, we're not able to give love or really fully receive love from a place of abundance. It's coming from a place of lack and scarcity and fear. So these practices, for healing can really help by, self-healing, Reiki, maybe that what you do, or yoga, meditation, forgiveness. I highly, highly recommend. And forgiveness isn't just about saying it's okay. It's okay you did that bad thing. It's actually nothing to do with that. It really is about healing our hearts and working through the patterns, the egoic patterns that we all have, and being able to collapse that energetic story that we were holding that was really causing the pain to keep recycling through other relationships as well, and be able to reframe it into understanding that, okay, I had this experience, but I'm better for it now because I've grown, I've evolved, I've gained wisdom. Or simply, if that's not a possibility, then we just want to get to that point where we can be willing to let go and let go of the hurt and the pain. Sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes it doesn't. I find radical forgiveness is the easiest way for me, and I've seen amazing miracles happen. So that's what I recommend. There's obviously other forgiveness practices out there as well, Ho'oponopono, and I'm not sure of any others, but really it's intention. It's definitely intention. So also really connecting with our feelings and our emotions is another really important part of when you get a healing card is, are you connected to the emotion? What is going on? What feelings or emotion, which is a thought attached to a feeling, what's coming up for you that you need to be with, to sit with, to possibly journal on it, reflect on it, feel it maybe, right? Because we are here to feel fully all of it. And here we are in a society that has all these ways to avoid feeling, avoid experiencing the pain. But really, when we avoid it, we're just perpetuating the pain to keep coming up. But when I'm able to feel it and move through it, it just releases. And it gets easier as you practice. So there's lots of practices here to support that. And the next energy card is the creating energy. So this one is about, tapping into that creative energy that we are, And we are here to creatively express ourselves uniquely, and we're all unique. And when we get connected inward, that will just overflow. But when we are stuck in our head, and I know this from my own life experience, when we are stuck in our head, it is not easy to create. It's not. So this is about, to me, following our heart and getting connected to our body. And, you know, like I said before, we can often be disassociated from our body. So just following, and how do we want to creatively express ourselves? Is it through art? Is it through movement? Is it through sound? Is it through creating something like that others will experience, like food or crafts? You know, there's so many ways to create. It might be that you're an amazing writer, you create that way. You know, there's so many ways. But practice intuitively playing, using our imagination, exploring new things without any kind of agenda, finding our passions, igniting our spark. Um, and then, like, if you're not sure, just what do you love? What brings you joy that you don't even know what time it is and you just get lost in it? Start there and just practice. And music, you know, just listening to music, moving our body, exercising, laughter, so many amazing ways to access that creative energy. And then the last one is mindfulness energy. So again, another very important energy, because we all start out, I believe, you know, as we're evolving, you know, we can get stuck in our head. And that is really what the Soul Adventure game is about, is to help us to get out of our head and into our heart, so that we can connect with who we truly are and be who that is in the now. So when we lead from our heart, this is really about being intentional, and focus solely on what we're doing, our surroundings, our feelings, our body, just being the observer and not judging. If you notice a judgment, then just notice that too, without making ourselves wrong to have it, because that's normal. So, you know, this energy calls us to challenge ourselves to practice mindfulness. You know, really, it could be for me, a big one is when I'm doing any kind of exercise, being very mindful about what I'm doing and really focusing on the muscle and on the movement. For me, it's a challenge. So that would be, for me, I would think, something that I am focusing on, because I notice when I become very mindful with my movement, I can do it better, and I feel it, and it's just I'm more in tune with the sensations, and I find that I have a better experience. So practicing in all you do, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes, even if it's for walking, just being very mindful of your present now moment. Try not to follow our thoughts. You observe them and allow them, just maybe float by like a cloud in a sense. And try not to multitask. I'm guilty of doing that. You know, I used to wear it as a badge of honor. But try not to multitask, try to focus on one thing at a time. So for me, like, another example is like eating. Before I would eat, and if it wasn't, it used to be TV, it's not anymore, but now it could be my phone. But now I'm like, no, I'll put music on, but I'm not going to look at my phone. I'm just going to focus on eating and enjoying the food and the taste and how it feels and all of that. So we can bring mindfulness into any part of our life. So when you pull these cards, it might be a sign that there's some mindfulness that needs to happen. Now, truly, all of these, healing, mindfulness, and creating, they're all energies that we always really want to be doing, right? It's the stillness, it's the movement, and it's the healing that are really necessary for our soul to be able to communicate with us and allow us to align with it, rather than aligning with the ego. So the last page is really an overall connecting with us page, and celebrating you for doing this work that is actually play, and that helps us to balance it out for sure. So here you can go to the site. You can order a game, but or maybe you know someone that is a facilitator, because we have a Lynn on here, and Lynn is also, if you need the refill packs, which is your booklet that I didn't even get into, but I'm not going to do that today. But the booklet and the journal pad, which I don't have, the journal pad and the booklet. This is a refill pack. If you need more of those, you can order it there or see your facilitator. And then I have links here about just if doing the deeper inner work is calling you, that you can learn more about that here. We have a Facebook group that you can, it's just really there for questions, support. If you want to share, sometimes people for accountability, they like to share their cards in there. And if you're interested in becoming a soul adventure guide facilitator, if that's something you're interested in, please visit the site. And here, this is a contact me. Oh, I think I lost my camera. Darn. One moment. So I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm going to put my camera back on. There we go. My camera just died on me. So thank you. I'm going to stop the recording now. Thanks for being here.